We're together for about 3 hours. We're going to hit Corpus Christi about 3:30. That's what everybody said. 3 hours. Oh, we'll stay downtown today. Because of what happened. Water's 2 feet deep. If we sink, stand up. Stay inside the blue rails. Don't pet the ducks or grab leaves. And do me a favor, don't stand up while my boat's moving. We're going to come under some very low bridges and branches. Those things hurt. And there's a lot of paper going to knock people off the boat. So if you want me to slow down, take a picture, anything like that, just let me know. I'm happy. But now let's go see this pretty. Now, first of all, this is a river. It's not man-made. We're not on a canal. We're on the San Antonio River. This is the river as it's always gone. The river goes the origins of San Antonio, really the beginnings of Texas. This is why we're here. Now, we were first settled permanently along this river, right over here to our left-hand side, back in 1701. This area is known as La Villita, an old Spanish little village. And in 1701, that year, 120 Spanish soldiers reached our river, bringing families, drives to prepare this area for more and more settlers that would quickly follow. The Spanish were now eager to bring this land, to bring Texas under their control. Up here on the right-hand side, excuse me, there's this wonderful bronze sculpture. It's called Coming Home to the Bristow. That vaquero driving those big old longhorns along our riverbank and harkens back to Texas early cattle years. The drives that boomed our state back in the mid-1800s. If you enjoy Western art, Remingtons and the like, you will love the Bristow, which is just behind. Real jewel along our bank. Now, as we travel along our river, we're going to run through these great old Montezuma cypress trees. You'll see them all along the banks, 200, 300, 400 years old. The ones through here are pretty typical. Now, the one over here on our right-hand side, though, is awfully unique. Take a look this way. Notice how this one over the years has grown out of the river. Its roots have well over 400 weddings a year. There are more than one a day, and I've already seen one. It should be busy today. Very tranquil, quiet part of our day. Now, the voice island's up around the corner. It's not quite as free. We come underneath the Barrow Street. We're coming on to the Southern Bend. This stretch has a very different feel from the rest of the Riverwalk. This is twice as wide through here, and you wouldn't know if you look at it, but it's awfully shallow. It's only 2 feet deep. This little part of the river is a neighborhood. Up until around 1900, homes were still on these banks. The village that you're young in San Antonio time. Now, up in front of us with that green roof and bullet tower, that's the Bexar County Courthouse. It came up in 1896. The largest original courthouse left in Texas. Now, the building to our left up in 1929. It's called the Tower Roof. 30 stories tall. It held that distinction nearly 6 months. We're proud. It's an octagonal high-rise with now for its architecture, a wonderful example of a form rarely seen, neo-Gothic. You see those bases along the bottom? They're called grotesques. They're to protect it. They're to scare away bad luck. There's 100 of them that surround the top. They'll go way up high. See the gargoyles up there that now almost blue sky. 4-foot long dragons. I've never gone through lots of cities, but nothing like this. Well, this Riverwalk was built, as you see, in reaction to a terrible tragedy. Back in 1921, San Antonio suffered through a flood, the likes of which we have never seen before or really since. A hurricane hit us. It was September of 21. Now, the 20s and 30s that a Riverwalk was designed to build, but the project began right here following the flood. It goes left, it heads south of the ocean, 148 miles that way. As we're turning right, we're coming on to a man-made portion of the river. This is a nearly 300-yard long and 85-foot wide and right at 50-foot deep trench. It's right through the heart of our city between 1926 and 29. This was the Army Corps of Engineers' answer. It's how our city came back from the flood. We essentially straightened our river. We provided an avenue for the river to run quick from north to south, bypassing where we were, which is again the natural element. Now we're in awfully deep water. We're in 22 feet of water. This is just about the deepest part of the river here in the ocean. Now the average depth of the regular run is about 4 feet. Why did we go so deep? Well, it was to I'll take it down, got a 3-minute change very little. I'll get back to that other story in a second. I want you to look over here to the left-hand side. I want to show you. This is like getting to a Spanish town. We were built around the primary plaza with a host church. The left-hand side, main plaza, and across the plaza, San Fernando Cathedral. San Fernando was built in the form you see now in 1738. The original structure came up in 1724. It is the second oldest cathedral in the United States. in what was becoming new space. San Antonio, we are the oldest city in Texas, the second oldest in the United States. Only St. Augustine, Florida, can claim an older royal charter than San Antonio. Now, the river's unique in a lot of ways. Did you know it begins here in San Antonio about 4 miles out? San Antonio River is actually spring fed. It doesn't come from another river long way. It's an iron door that lowers like a garage door. It comes down, the dam became on the rise, and when deployed together, they just seal off. Rather came Tanker's bit of machinery, so it's the drop without notice. Once they were both in, we worked up the safety of the element. We can now deploy these dams when we did go through these floods. The last time they both were used together was Memorial Day last year. We got 8.5 inches of rain that afternoon. The river behind us where we were swelled nearly 4 feet. That dropped as one rose, we let the river rush through. Once things evened out again, we raised and lowered them back to work. It took about 8 hours, which is typical. It happens 2 or 3 times a year. Once the dams were in, we built the river walk. The last stone laid right over here to our left-hand side. I want to give you some scale of that floor. Look over here, our theaters of it today. Gilded, gorgeous in there. It's a concert venue now. It's part of the House of Blues family. But you want to get a taste of the age of our river bend. The building to our left is by far the best example. This is the La Mansión del Rio, the mansion on the river. The building began its life back in 1851. This grand hotel, for the first 70 years of its life, was a school. This was the St. Mary's Institute, a school for boys that just kept growing down our river. Little parochial, then middle, then St. Mary's University, its postgraduate, its law school, and divinity schools, all under this roof by 1880. Arrived down here as a 5-year-old boy back in 1860 and matriculated through the grades league 20 years after you got here, educated as either a lawyer or a priest. That was the plan. Father educating one to save the other. Now, the school was devastated by the flood in 21. The campus was spread around the city, but the building was brought back as the hotel. Class was gone in about 8 months. That's hot. It was all good out. Nice place. Coming underneath Navarro for now the second time. Navarro crosses the San Antonio River in 4 separate places. The street is relatively straight as the river meanders back and forth. Now, if we come out from underneath Navarro, look over to my left and up. This is kind of neat. As we were ravaged by this flood, we were desperate to new infrastructure. A new hospital was desired. This is it, the Nix, that came up back in 1930. 27 stories tall, and we built 20 feet off this river. It's taken a while. Nix is still an active hospital, considered the best in Texas. Do you see why? I think we do. Back in 1980, we put a bar in it. Those of us work down here call it the recovery. As we come down the bottom of this horseshoe, up in front of us is the Hyatt Regency. On the other side of the Hyatt, about 80 yards from where we are now, is the Alamo. You can head over the Alamo off the river today, just walk through the bottom floor of the Hyatt. If we swing right, look left, you'll see 2 sets of double doors that say the shops, the for sale, the Alamo. Walk through there, come out the other side of the building, literally looking at the Alamo back place. It's the proximity to the Alamo that led us to do a couple of things in this building that we have not had to ever do before. I want you to notice how short the hotel is in the middle of San Antonio. It's only got 16 stories. We wouldn't let them build any taller than what they got. Nothing more than 168 feet away. See, anything taller than what it is, when the sun set in the west, the building would have cast a shadow on the facade of the Alamo, which is an illegal act. Back in 1838, we were a young nation then. San Antonio passed a city ordinance that we literally still abide. It says no man-made shadow can ever fall on the death or burial site of an automobile in Texas Southern. State property in front of us, it also runs directly through the Alamo. Now we're coming on to just about my favorite part of the river walk. This area in front of us is called River Square. This is the restaurant, the entertainment district. Down here on both banks up the streets, there are 19 different restaurants waiting for us. There's 11 bars that still let me in, 4 ice cream bars. Enough restaurants we're comfortable telling you can get anything you want to eat. It's just going to have to be Texas. Straight ahead of our boat, start looking into that nearly blue Texas sky. Now, see the Tower of the Americas up there? That's where we're going to be. That swirling sculpture to its left is called the Torch of Friendship. That was a gift to San Antonio from Mexico back in 2001. Relatively new to the centerpiece of downtown.
There's the tower he wants to go to.
As we're coming on New College Street, on the right-hand side, look real quick. See, there's this statue we're coming by. That is Robert Hunter. He is the conceptual architect of the river, the man that really designed everything you see. When this river walk was finally done in 1941, as you see it now, Open and did all the work, it looks different. Let's see how the river over is green. The restaurant to our right, quickly follow that, is called the Casa Rica. They opened back in 1946. First off, Riverside Dining, strolling mariachi. Those fellows are brothers, they are San Antonio landmark. Now the natural run of the river goes on straight ahead of us. That's where we got on the boat, just on the other side of the bridge. We're not going back yet, I got some more to show you. Let's head down by the tower. We'll be back over here in about an hour. I'd like to see who's still listening. Some of y'all didn't even jump. Now, as we're turning left, we're coming on to a man-made portion. This is called the Hemisphere Extension. It's a 1,900-foot concrete pipe. All the rest is plenty of rock, like you expect. This part of the river's young, less than 50 years old. The land we're coming through across the Lix's old Texas flood was shed on the ground above the Battle of the Alamo Park, on the ground up here. The Alamo's just 100 yards to our left. As we come by the Chamber of Commerce building on our left, I want you to look left. See that steeple up there in the spire? That is St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Now, the cornerstone for St. Joseph's laid up there back in 1868. It's the first German Catholic church in Texas. Everything about that church was actually brought here from Munich, Germany. I think native Texas about the building, the limestone in the walls. It's a wonderful reflection of this great German migration that hit San Antonio and South Texas back in the mid-1800s. The effects of which we're still seeing today. Those Germans began to hit our river about 1840, and they came for nearly 50 years. The rest of Europe followed them too. Poles, Czechs, Slavs, Irish, French, Scotch, Russians, South Texas. Even the Spanish came back to this way. Now they were headed to South Texas, eager to make some money in the cattle business. There for red meat and leather, and we had cows by the millions down here, eager to make some money. But we had a definite problem. See, in 1840, there had been no trains built into Texas. This had been Mexican land. There's no easy way to get them to where they were desired, so we had to drive to the nearest station we had. The closest was Abilene, Kansas, and that was about 800 miles north of here. And San Antonio was the beginnings of what's remembered as the surrounded on all three sides of the Archbishop announced by the Henry. It was all built out of what was the epicenter to our fair. Only a few buildings survived the World's Fair. And of course, the Tower of the Americas is what we're looking at. Now, if you guys would like to head over to the Tower of the Americas today, over to the Institute of Texas Culture, there's certainly lots of ways to go. Let me give you the easiest. Follow the river, follow the path our boat is taking, and walk to this area right here on the right. It's called the Grotto. When you come out of the Grotto, you'll come into what remains of Hemisphere Park and take a left and look up. The tower is literally around the corner. It's a 2-minute walk from here. It's close. We're at the effort too. I don't know if you guys know this now, but in Texas, you build a tower of any significant height, you have to put a revolving restaurant on top of the wall. We certainly follow this good enough. Their observation deck is here. All right, you guys ready for some fun?
Yeah.
So, because this is the whitewater portion of our ride. Now, as we come through here, stay seated inside the blue rails. Let's just hope this goes better than yesterday, all right? Whitewater portion of our ride, it starts right now. Now, if you're on the right side of my boat, I want you to reach out and feel this little skinny leaf plant we're coming by. This stuff's unique. You'll find it only in South Texas. Those soft, spongy leaves. Call the stuff Rio poison ivy, and it hits you.
Oh, God.
That's y'all souvenir. As we come by this mosaic again for another photo op, I want to tell you about the man that our convention center's named for, because his legacy is actually sitting on our boat. Henry beat right into this thing. Henry played a huge role in the military. military's influence in our city. The entire time he was in office, he worked to bring down here what he loved to call an agile and active military. By the time he passed away, we were home to 5 military bases. You guys know this now. San Antonio, we call ourselves Military City, USA. There's 1.4 million people live here, and about 40% of us have something to do with the military. Now, one of the bases in San Antonio is Lackland Air Force, the intake base for the Air Force. If you join, you get to come to San Antonio and spend 8 fun-filled weeks in this little clubnet on the west side of our city. And every Friday or so, we get a graduating class of these new airmen. A brand new blue uniform, stumbling around a river ball, holding black figure out what life is like back in the war. And we got a young one on there. I want you to go down the squad. The funny thing about the Air Force is no matter what you do, you always come back to San Antonio one way or another. He's about to head out, I assume. Go to tech school someplace else.
One more
Where you
week.
going?
Yep. One more week.
Where are you going?
Virginia.
Virginia. You want to talk about what you're going to do? Smart here. Stay off the flight line.
I'll be on the flight line.
Oh, you will? What are you
It'll be
doing?
hot. Air transportation.
Oh, okay. Where are you going in Virginia?
Fort Lee.
Fort Lee.
Distance. What's it
I
called?
know where Fort Lee is.
Richmond.
No, this is not everybody in San Antonio has gone through the Air Force. But it's an honor, man. We look forward to seeing you again. Long here at Civilian Colors. Over the years, we've grown this, we've added to it. Now, once you're in, the mall is pretty standard stuff. There's 125 stores, anchored by a Macy's, food court, movie theater, all of these things. If you guys would like to learn a bit more about our Alamo, there's a movie goes off on one of those IMAX screens every hour. It's called The Alamo, Price of Freedom. I'll tell you, it's excellent. It's not very long. It's only about 45 minutes, but it's really the best I've ever seen. Waters were Spanish missionaries back in 1691. Our origins do run awfully deep. Rather intrepid group of men, they're just 8 of them, led by a young priest named Damian Massanet. They reached the river on June the 13th of that year. In San Antonio, in one shape or form, we have been around ever since. In fact, we are known as San Antonio because of the day they got here. It's in the Catholic Church. June 13th is a rather holy day. It's known as the Feast of St. Anthony de Padua, the Feast of San Antonio. It was a day that these missionaries were going to celebrate no matter where they were. They literally saw the Rio Grande on our riverbank.